Hello there, welcome back to the Ogre, the old Git Reacts, Reviews and Off Times Reminisces. I've been scratching about in the fairly distant past for my musical reviews for you guys. So I thought I'd do something a bit more recent, and to that effect we're going to do Dodenbezweerder. Never heard of them before, chanced upon this on the interwebs, listened, liked, downloaded. I've listened to it once or twice since, and will do so again today. And it is one of those albums that just grab. Well, it's not an album; it's an EP, but it grabs you. It does. It grabs you, and it don't really let go. So let's have a listen, shall we? Takes a little while to crank up. It's always nice when the album or the cover artwork matches the music, and I think you'll agree. I mean, the depiction here is of some form of crypt, and the sound is definitely sepulchral. It's dark, it's gloomy, and there's more than a hint of dustiness about this. The dust of crumbling bones and desiccated skin. So yes, the artwork definitely fits with the music, which is full of murk, which, as I've said many times before, is just the way I like it. Strikes me about this track and the other one off the EP is they're very claustrophobic, and going back to that dustiness I mentioned earlier, this reminds me a little bit of when I were a lad. I used to be a coal miner and I used to work on a coal face, and when the coal cutter was at full bore ripping its way through coal, and the panzer was moved. Panzer was the metal conveyor by which the coal was taken off the face. When all that was rattling along and you had hydraulic chocks being moved across, you couldn't see really very much. It was so much coal dust and rock dust in the air, and you couldn't hear a lot either because the sound of all that mechanisation and rock getting crunched, coal getting crunched. And this very much reminds me of that claustrophobic, because although even the biggest face I worked on, which was 6 foot high, even then there wasn't a lot of the room, and the other face I worked on was only 3 foot high, and that was definitely claustrophobic, especially when it was full of blooming rock in the chalk run. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of. Thank your lucky stars if you've never had to experience that, because it was a shitty job, even though for some it was quite well paid. Staying with the coal mine analogy, one of the when I was doing my training, I visited other local coal mine, which obviously was to extract coal, but they had the misfortune there of there being oil deposits amongst the coal deposits, which meant that as you was mining, you were very often covered in oil as well as coal dust. And the synthesizer keyboard motifs behind the guitar work here remind me of that that oil oozing out of the coal and the rock. Adds to the atmosphere here, added to the hell there. This is one of those songs that definitely gives you the sense of there's something behind you. You know, you keep looking behind yourself and sort of feel that whisper of breath on the back of your neck. It is, the atmosphere here is thick and slightly menacing, and if you're going to do atmosphere, I find, I don't know about you, but I find good atmospheric music, and particularly atmospheric black metal, you find yourself, even, don't matter how dark or menacing or otherwise the atmosphere is, if you find yourself, when you're walking the dogs, riding your motorbike, riding your push bike, or just driving along, or what have you, if you find yourself humming a melody, then that from any particular track, then that track has served its purpose. And I've found, even though I've listened to this a few times, when I've been riding, particularly on a push bike with wind in my ears, I've been humming this sort of mournful, menacing refrain of the keyboards that sort of oozes around the guitars. And the guitars, going back again to that coal mine analogy, coal mining, the guitars are very much like a face ripper, tunneler in a coal face. They are biting and creating all that dust along with it again. So there you go. As I say, very atmospheric, and the song after this on the EP is probably even slightly more atmospheric in the sense of the way the keyboards are utilised. This is probably the more aggressive of the two tracks by and that's COD. But yes, it's certainly a song for listening to in the dark with headphones on, and letting that picture be painted of a slight lack of comfort, and is there something there? Yes, for sure. Right, a reasonably long video, so I'm not going to talk too much bollocks here. I was to say this is a fairly recent song from last year, I think, so I shall have to check out. I think I spied they've got a rehearsal tape recording on their Bandcamp page, which I'll check out fairly soon. Anyway, enough of that. Click your bollocks if you like. Catch you all next time. Cheerio.